So goods have been purchased from Rajasthan stores, and of course this transaction will be recorded in purchase book. The bill number is also mentioned, that is 160, and goods of rupees 40,000 at 10% trade discount. 10% of 40,000 is 4,000 and the net amount of goods is 36,000. Of course, GST and labor you are not supposed to consider while writing the amount in purchase book. Yes, so in purchase book the name of the supplier, that is Rajasthan stores, the amount is 36,000. The note for GST and labor, of course, you will be writing the way we do in each and every sum. Yes. Then on 25th of January, goods purchased of rupees 50,000 on credit from Uttar Pradesh stores. Credit period is of 2 months and trade discount is 10%. Bill number 380. So goods have been purchased from Uttar Pradesh stores. So name of the party, Uttar Pradesh stores in the purchase book. Yes. Let us check the amount. It is goods of rupees 50,000 at 10% trade discount. So this becomes 45,000. Yes. Goods are of rupees 50,000. 10% of 50,000 is 5,000 and the net amount of goods is 45,000. 50,000 minus 5,000, 45,000 this way. Yes. So the net amount of goods is 45,000 purchased from Uttar Pradesh stores. On 29th of January, they say out of total goods purchased from Uttar Pradesh stores, 30% goods is returned, along with goods debit note 44 is sent. Goods have been returned to Uttar Pradesh stores. So of course, Uttar Pradesh stores account 45,000 and how much is returned? 30%. So the 30% of 45,000 is 13,500. Yes. So this is a transaction of purchase return because the goods that have been purchased from Uttar Pradesh stores are returned on 29th of January. The 30% of goods that have been purchased. Goods have been purchased worth rupees 45,000. 50,000 minus 5,000 trade discount. So 45,000 and 30% of which is 13,500, which is returned again back to Uttar Pradesh stores. Yes, and that's all. Moving towards the next transaction, on 30th of January, an order of goods purchased of rupees 80,000 at 10% trade discount is placed to Madhya Pradesh stores. Only the order has been placed. So this is a non-financial transaction and it cannot be recorded. So you will be writing down a note for this. Next, on 31st of January, goods of rupees 30,000 purchased at 10% trade discount and 5% cash discount on cash from Haryana stores. This is a cash transaction as the transaction clearly specifies that the goods have been purchased on cash from Haryana stores. So this transaction cannot be recorded in purchase book and you will be writing down a note for this that cash purchase will be recorded in cash book. Yes. So with this we complete sum number 10 and of course you will total this. You will total purchase book and then you will total purchase return book the way we do and the sum is completed. So the next sum that we are going to start with is sum number 11 just after sum number 10 as I said. Then with sum number 12 and we'll be completely done with the preparation of simple sales books and simple subsidiary books, sorry, not sales book, and return books. Yes, and as I said that we are left with the preparation of subsidiary books with the columns of expenses. Once we are completely done with simple books, then we'll probably take a lecture for understanding them. Yes, we are also supposed to start with cash book, but we'll see what we are starting with at first. Yeah, next, sum number 11, please be ready with that. On page number 154, again I will just mention that the transaction where it actually will be recorded, in sales book or in sales return book. And what you are supposed to do is that you will prepare a proper specimen and the format, and you will record it properly. Yes? Just because we have done many illustrations and sums, by now you might be having a proper idea that how to prepare a format and write down the sum. Yes? So that's the reason I am not preparing the long specimen, as I am in short of space, of course, you know. Yes? So sales book and sales returns book. The two books we are supposed to prepare, and in the books of Pratibha Furniture Mart, 2018, 1st of September, goods of rupees 10,000 at 10% cash discount sold to Rajesh Furniture Mart. He has paid half amount, partial cash, partial credit. So entire transaction will be treated as credit transaction, and the name of the customer, that is Rajesh Furniture Mart, will be recorded with the proper date here. And let us see the amount. It is 10,000. We will record 10,000, the entire amount, because cash discount is applied only on cash transactions. Yeah. So this is a credit transaction that we have considered for now. So 10,000 will be recorded in sales book. The next one is on 5th of September, goods of rupees 8,000 at 10% trade discount and 5% cash discount sold to Pushpa. Credit period of 1 month, bill number 130 sent by adding rupees 100 of labor charge. Of course, labor charge is not to be considered here. Goods have been sold to Pushpa. Of course, it is the credit transaction with proper date, Pushpa account. Talking about the amount, 10% of 8,000 trade discount, it is 800, so the net amount is 7,200. 5% cash discount is not to be considered while recording the transactions in subsidiary books. So 5% cash discount will not be recorded, and the labor charge, of course, is again not considered. So the net amount of goods to be recorded in the subsidiary books is 7,200 after deducting 10% trade discount from 8,000. The next transaction on 12th of September, goods of rupees 4,000 sold at 10% trade discount and 5% cash discount. Goods have been sold to whom the name of the party is not mentioned. So of course this is a cash transaction. So you will be writing down a note here that cash transaction or cash sales will be recorded in cash book. Next, 15th of September, goods of rupees 5,000 is returned by Rajesh Furniture Mart. Goods received back, thus sent credit note number 16. Now Rajesh Furniture Mart is a person to whom we have sold, is a person who is returning. So the person to whom goods are sold, if that person will return, it becomes sales return for us. So Rajesh Furniture Mart account in sales book goods worth rupees 5,000 is returned. Simple. Next, on 20th of September, old machine sold to Manju on credit for 3,000, credit period 1 month. Now this is an asset. We are dealing with furniture. This is a machine. So this transaction cannot be recorded in subsidiary books of goods. Yes, our business is about furniture, not machinery. So a note will be written for this, that this will be recorded in journal proper. Then on 22nd of September, goods sold of rupees 30,000 at 5% trade discount to Harish. Invoice number 136 sent by adding 5% GST and 200 labor charge. Of course, GST and labor charge you are not supposed to consider. It will be recorded in journal proper. So now we are only supposed to deal with the amount of trade discount. Firstly, goods have been sold to Harish. So name of the party, name of the customer actually, Harish. Goods of rupees 30,000. So 30,000, 10% is 3,000 and 5% is 1,500. Yes, so 30,000 minus 1,500 trade discount, the net amount of goods is 28,500. So total receivable amount from Harish is 28,500. Yes. Next, on 23rd of September, goods sold of rupees 20,000 to Neeta on credit of 1 month. Trade discount is 10% and cash discount is 10%. Goods have been sold to Neeta. Name of customer, Neeta. It is of rupees 20,000, 10% trade discount. So the net amount is 18,000 with no doubt. 10% of 20,000 is 2,000. 20,000 minus 2,000 is 18,000. Yes, so the net amount of goods is 18,000. And cash discount is not to be recorded in subsidiary books. We never calculate cash discount. Yes. So we have not considered cash discount here, and just the net price of goods after calculating trade discount is written here. Lastly, on 30th of September, an order for goods for rupees 15,000 is received from Mukesh. The order only has been received from Mukesh. Yes, the order is not actually implemented or initiated. So this is a non-financial transaction, and a note for this will be written. Non-financial transaction is not recorded in the books of accounts at all. Yes. So with this we have completed sum number 11, of course, about preparing sales book and sales returns book. Yes. So the next sum that we are going to start with is sum number 12, in which you are supposed to prepare all the 4 books. Yes, purchase book, sales book, purchase return, sales return. Of course, similar to illustration 7 that we have done. So on page number 155, sum number 12, we are supposed to prepare all the 4 books. So obviously I will just mention in which book which transaction will appear. Sales and sales return. Yes. So quickly starting with sum number 12. Yes, now we are habituated with this sum, so if we are doing it little bit in a speed, that's quite okay, I think. Okay. So just now you just have to understand, Then you will prepare a proper format for all the 4 books. Yes, one page for these 2, another one for this 2, half page will do, and thereafter you will be writing the notes. So, first transaction, November 1st, 2015, purchased goods of rupees 30,000 from Ramanuj at 10% trade discount, bill number 120. Obviously, this is a transaction of purchase. The first transaction will be recorded in purchase book, and the name of the supplier Ramanuj. Amount, if we are talking about 30,000 at 10% trade discount. What is 10% for 30,000? 3,000. So, net amount of goods 27,000. Bill number 120. I will repeat. Date 2015, November 1st, name of the supplier Ramanuj account, bill number 120, nothing in LF, and the net amount of goods 27,000, 30,000 minus 3,000. Yes. Next, on 4th of November, purchased goods of rupees 12,000 from Nirmi at 10% cash discount. Credit period 1 month. Goods have been purchased from Nirmi. Will be recorded in purchase book. 10% cash discount. As you know very well, cash discount is not recorded in subsidiary books. So, you will be writing as 12,000 here. November 4, name of the supplier Nirmi account, no bill number, LF, bill number, yes, 130 is the bill number, and then in the column of amount 12,000, cash discount we are not recording. Then on 6th of November, moving towards the next transaction, sold goods of rupees 15,000 to Suresh at 5% trade discount and 3% cash discount under bill number 350. Goods have been sold to Suresh. So, in sales book, 5th of November, goods of rupees 15,000 at 5% trade discount. 5% of 15,000 is 750. So, the net amount of goods is 14,250. Yes? And of course, cash discount is not to be recorded. So, in sales book on 6th of November, this transaction will be recorded. Mr. Suresh, Suresh account, bill number 350, and in the column of amount 14,250 after calculating trade discount. Then on 11th of November, purchased goods of rupees 10,000, cash memo number 58. Of course, this is a cash transaction of purchase of goods. For this, you are supposed to write down a note. Cash purchase will be recorded in cash book, and it cannot be recorded in any of the subsidiary books of goods. 15th of November, the next transaction, Suresh returned goods of rupees 3,000. Who is Suresh? Suresh is the person to whom goods have been sold, and Suresh is returning, so that becomes sales return. So, on 15th of November, Suresh account, credit note 20 and the amount 3,000. Next, on 17th of November, 40% goods returned to Nirmi and debit note number 17 sent. Who is Nirmi? Nirmi is the person from whom we have purchased on 4th of November. Goods worth rupees how much? 12,000. Yes, now 40% of those goods are returned to Nirmi. So, this becomes purchase return. On which date we are returning? 17th of November. Yes, and 40% of 12,000 is 4,800. On 4th of November, goods have been purchased from Nirmi of 12,000, and on 17th of November, the goods are returned to Nirmi. This date it is purchased, on this date it is returned. 12,000, 40% of 12,000, 4,800. Then 19th of November, purchased furniture of rupees 7,000 from Sri Saraswati Furniture Mart. Now furniture is a non-current fixed asset and which cannot be recorded here. This transaction is to be recorded in journal proper. Yes, because the business is about purchase sale of goods, not an asset. The previous sum was actually, the business was about purchase sale of furniture, has a difference. Yes, next. So yes, for this you will be writing a note that purchase of non-current fixed asset will be recorded in journal proper. Then on 20th of November, purchased goods of rupees 90,000 from Anuti, half of the amount paid immediately. Goods have been purchased from Anuti. So in purchase book on 20th of November, the amount that you will record is 90,000 because half amount paid or received is entirely treated as credit transaction. The next one, on 21st of November, all the goods purchased from Anuti sold to Bala for rupees 1,08,000. Credit 1 month, trade discount 10%, bill number 360. So the goods that have been purchased from Anuti on 20th of November are sold to Mr. Bala on 21st. So in sales book, 21st of November, name of the customer Bala, amount if we are talking about, the 10% of 1,08,000, of course 10,800 to be deducted, and the net amount is 97,200. Let us record it here. Then, yes, I will repeat the amount. The goods that have been purchased from Anuti, goods worth rupees 90,000 have been purchased from Anuti. And the same goods have been sold to Bala at rupees 97,200. Yes, 1,08,000, 10% trade discount. Yes? Perfect. Next, on 23rd of November, Bala returned half of the goods which was sent to Anuti. See, this is the reason that I have written this amount here. Yes, because actually it was expected that the goods have been purchased from one party, are sold to the other party. The other party will return to me and I will return the goods to whom from, to the person from whom I have purchased. So for that purpose I have put a record already here. Yes. So goods have been sold to Bala, the one which have been purchased from Anuti. Now Bala is the person to whom goods have been sold, and Bala returns the goods. So this becomes sales return first of all on 23rd of November. Bala returned goods of rupees, Bala returned half of the goods. So the half for 97,200 is what? 48,600. Yes? Bala has purchased goods from us and hence he has returned to us for whatsoever the reason, and I have returned those goods to Anuti because I have purchased those goods from Anuti. Yes, Bala has returned half of the goods, so I will return half of the goods to Anuti, and the half for 90,000 is 45,000. Yes, so this becomes purchase return on 23rd. Yes, on 23rd of November. In purchase return book, I will return this goods to Anuti, the half of what I have purchased. Like Bala has returned half of what he has purchased, half of 97,200, which is 48,600. The same goods I will return to Anuti. Why? Because I have purchased those goods from Anuti. So the half for 90,000, 45,000 I will return to Anuti on 23rd of November. Next, on 24th of November, Karan placed an order for rupees 30,000 at 10% trade discount for supply of goods. So only placing an order is a non-economic transaction or non-financial transaction, and as you all know, non-financial transactions are not recorded in the books of accounts. Yes, so for this you will be writing down a note that non-financial transaction will not be recorded. Next, on 25th of November, goods sent to Karan as per order, 500 added for carriage under bill number 365. Now Karan, the person who has placed an order on 24th of November, the goods have been supplied to him on 25th of November. So ultimately goods have been sold to Mr. Karan. So in sales book on 24th of November, Karan account, and the amount of course you can see 30,000 at 10% trade discount. 10% of 30,000 is 3,000. So the net price of goods is 27,000 that you are going to consider here. Carriage of course is not considered. So you will be writing down a note for the same. Then on 26th of November, cash purchase rupees 16,000 and cash sales rupees 20,000. Cash transactions of course are recorded in cash book. So you will be writing down a note for this on 26th of November that cash purchase and cash sales will be recorded in cash book. Next, on 27th of November, returned goods to Sweetie of rupees 10,000 which was purchased in October and sent debit note number 20. Now this probably is a somewhat different sort of transaction. For this I need to give a proper explanation. So we will continue in the next lecture for this, and till now you are supposed to finish sum number 10, 11 and sum number 12 till what we have done. We are left with two transactions, that is on 27th of November and 30th of November, that we are going to continue in the next lecture. So that's all for today. We'll see you in the next lecture. Till then, stay home, stay safe and study well.